Hi everybody, how you doing? Jo here again. Thanks so much for joining me. Always lovely to have your company. Now today we're going to be having a little play with Roland, our circular gel press. So I'm just going to put the packaging to one side. Now I've already got the gel press plate on one of my Lavinia stamps acrylic blocks, and for me this is two things. One, I know where it is, but also I like to pick it up. I like to use it almost to be able to stamp with it. And also if I'm flicking water or any of our powders and mysticals around my gel press, I've got a little bit of area here that I find easy to clean up than on my craft mat. I'm also going to be using a piece of card. I'm going to get this done first, so then I've got, because obviously not much space, you know what I'm like. And this is the 7x7 multifarious card, so I can pop that over there. And as always, Eric is on the floor next to me, happily sleeping. So again, he may start snoring. Now to start off with, on the gel press, I'm using my Elements ink pads, and that's just because these have got a high pigment, low water content, so they're really good for the gel press. And I'm going for lime punch, blue atoll, and a little bit of violet chalk. Now when it comes to the Versafine Clair, and this is just for those that want to craft along, I'm going for the bluey sort of purpley tones, and I'm going for Twilight, Bluebell, Warm Breeze and Verdant. We may bring in a little bit of Nocturne, we'll see. But first of all, let's get our gel press back in play. Now I'll try and show you this as best as I can, but as always, let's try and get a bit more room. Now I'm going to do a sort of a landscape type design, and in my head I've popped this. This is going to be where my Lavinia, this is going to be the top of my design. I just think of this before I start. So I want some green, and I'm going to start with lime punch, and I'm just going to ink up this side of my brayer. And then I'm going to come in and give myself a little bit of landscape, just working my way up to about halfway, and then just clean my brayer on the copy paper. Now, as always, do remember, if you over brayer, you will actually take your ink off rather than add it. So what I'm going to do now, just because for me it's easier, I'm right-handed, so I find it easy to brayer right to left. So I'm now going to the blue atoll. Check my brayer's clean. Now you could clean your brayer on your copy paper, or you could use a piece of card and make yourself another background. I'm just going to bring some blue in for my sky here. And I'm just meeting, well hopefully meeting that green in the middle. And again, clean. And I'm going to turn it back round because just at the base I want to add a little bit of violet chalk just for some depth. So I'm just hopefully inking up just this little bit, about maybe an inch, and I just want to come in a little bit at the just at the base, not much. And I'm sorry I keep getting my hands right in front of you. So again, clean the brayer. And I'm going to pop that round. Now, we're not going to take a print. What we're going to do is we're going to do our stamping on here. Now, already I can see it looks like we might have an Eric hair there, but do you know what? This is a gel press. I'm sure that'll add to the print. So we're going to stamp on our gel press, and we're going to use our Versafine Clair for that. So my main focal point is going to be my tall Dandelion. So I'm going to ink that up with the Twilight. I have a bit of a plan, you see. Now remember, this will be reversed. So I actually, on my finished design, want my Dandelion on the right hand side, just because that's the way my head works. So I'm actually going to, and again, just gentle stamping and almost a bit of a rocking motion. Oh, there we go, that's lovely. So then I'm going to come in with the Wild Summer Flowers. And I think we'll go Warm Breeze. Oh, actually, I might just add a second generation of that tall dandelion just there. I do this, you know. Do you do this? Not only do I talk to myself while I'm crafting, I just pretend you're here all the time with me. But I also change my mind. Now, the beauty of this is you can actually see, and again, don't press too hard and try to press down and then come straight up. I think we'll just have a little smidge there. And the more you do this, the more you get used to just how much pressure you need. And then I'm going to come in with the lavender and just change my colour to the Blue Bell. Just going to park my brayer on the floor so I've got a little bit more room. Now, maybe if I put a piece of white copy paper, we might be able to see this better. What do you think? I don't know. I don't know if that helps or not. But I'm going to come in now with some of this lavender, and we just want some of this. So I'm going to go first, second, third generation, and I'm trying to get a, well, dare I say, a bit of a meadow type feel. So I don't want to overcook it. We'll just have a couple over here. And then lastly, the field grass. And I'm going to come in with the verdant for the field grass. And I'm just going to ink up the top of the stamp. And again, gently, gently, because I don't need the base look because I've got a flower there. So if I just ink up the top, and I love to do this just at the end, just bring in a couple of, and it looks like it's in the distance, really wispy. And obviously that's the way grasses are, isn't it? So we'll have a few of those. Maybe just one more there. I don't want to overdo it. And then lastly, I'm going to bring in a little bit of water at the top, just for some background. But I don't want too much. I could spoil it. I've got to be honest, I've done this before. I did too much water and it does spoil it. So I'm trying to learn from, well, I've got to say my mistakes, learn my lessons. So I'm really tapping excess water off my fan brush, and I just want a few light speckles in the sky just to give me a bit of something. And I think I'll stop there. So if I bring in my piece of card and turn this round, and as I say, I do apologise with the lights, with the plates and things, you do get a glare, so I'm really sorry. But if I bring this in and I can decide where I want it, and I think just there, and we'll give it a good press. I like to do it this way because I'm such a big kid, such a child. I love to see how it looks, and I certainly think I'm going to be happy with this. I mean, to me, this is the fun of it. And you know what? If we don't enjoy what we're doing, so I love having a bit of fun when I'm crafting. Just rub its bottom and then peel it off. Oh, look at that. So happy with that. What I do want to do, just before we do any more with that, take a piece of copy paper and take a print from my gel press. Two things. This will clean my gel press. But also, look at that. Now, if you wanted an insert for your card, that would be a beautiful matching insert to go with this design. Pop that over there. But also, what I tend to do with these pieces is if you cut round here, you then have a mask, the right shape for your gel press. But I'm so sad, look, I use the same mask again and again. Well, I'm going to say thrifty, not sad. I'm going to say thrifty. So this would be my perfect insert. So we'll pop that one over there for an insert. And let's get back to having a look at the one we've created. Now look at that. I just think that is gorgeous. You could leave it like this. Couple of little finishing tricks. So what I'm thinking is, I just want to add a little bit. Look at that. Such lovely backgrounds. A little bit, but let's put a clean piece. See, I'm too busy looking at that lovely braid background. And I just want to add a little bit of stamping. So look, that's my lovely mask. And I think in the black, I'll just come in with a little bit of the field grass. Or actually, I might just come in with the lavender. I think as I've got the lavender at the front, I'll just come in with a couple, just to almost add another layer, a little bit more dimension. Now, as I say, you don't have to, you can leave it as it is. But I just wonder if here, if I just add a couple in black, it will give, like I say, a little bit more dimension. I don't want to overdo it with these, just to make it pop a little bit more. And then maybe just here. Let me take that off. What do you think? Let's give that. There's a little bit of ink on my thumb. So I'm carefully going to wipe that off, because if I don't, you know what will happen? This lovely white area will get a black mark, and then we're going to need that emergency butterfly. And we've all done that, haven't we? So I think that black just gives us another dimension. So I think we'll just add the moon mask. I love the way that sky. Look at that with that little bit of water. But do be warned, like I say, the amount you add. I have added too much in the past. So we can spotlight. Now, what colour to use? That's the thing. I think we'll go blue at all. But again, we don't want to spoil it. We don't want to overcook it. So pop it there. And into the lid, remember, I always dab it in the lid. And I have to say, it's so lovely to now get messages and see so many other crafters doing this. But again, if you have a way that works for you, I always say you stick, you know, you go with what works for you. It's nice that we're all different. But sometimes you get a tip off somebody and, you know, it can be so simple, and yet it can be the best tip ever. Right, so I'm just gently, I don't want to spoil it, especially when I'm so pleased with it. Right, so I'm starting at the bottom again, and then just slowly, when I've got less ink on my brush, just slowly come round. And I don't want this to be too obvious, and I'm making sure I don't go outside of my gel press. Oh, that's nice. I don't want it to be too, yeah. Right, time for a couple of little finishing tricks, and I just want to make this a little bit more 3D looking. So, and again, this is something I love to do. And yes, I'm just trying to create myself a little bit more space. So I'm going to use the pastel pencils. And I'm just looking for a bit of kitchen towel to lean on, because again, I don't want to get black marks. Now I'm just coming in with the black, and this is where I want my deeper shadow. So from here, I'm just going to come round a little, almost flicking my pencil upwards so it's lighter. And then round here, just flicking, and that's where I want the deepest. And then one little trick is to use the off-white colour almost as a blender. And I'm just, again, working my way up and then carrying on up. And it just helps to soften that edge. And then I'll come back down here, look. Just turn your work if it helps. And then come back. Now, a lot of you ask about the pastel pencils, with it being pastel, because obviously if I do a full work with, say, my pan pastels, I do set it with a spray fixative. But I do find if I'm just doing a small area with the pastel pencils, just by simply smudging. Now, you can use your finger for this, or I've just got a biodegradable cotton bud here. You can also get pencil sort of smudging sticks. But and again, I'm just working my way round. And I find that just smudging it like this does two things. It softens the edge, sorry, excuse me, but also it helps to set the pastel. And another little tip, you will get odd little bits, because it is pastel like this here. Try not to rub them. Try to, and I'll do it off camera, just blow them away. Because if you rub, you tend to get more smudge marks, and they tend to be where you don't want them. Right, so, and I think that just adds to that lovely sort of 3D effect. And last of all, we're going to add some Stickles. Now for this one, as you know, normally I pop my Stickles on my mat and I paint it on. But for this one, I'm going to do dot and dab. And I'm actually going to dot my Stickles on where I want it. And then I'm just going to come in with my finger and do a dabbing motion. So we're going to do a bit of the dot and dab. And if you've ever done any plastering, you'll know what I mean. And for me, that just lovely. We get that, it'll dry quicker. I've not used a great amount. And that will just, I don't want to overcook it with the Stickles. Now, I have to say, for me, I'm really happy with that. Now, I'm not going to add a sentiment on this because I'm going to leave it and see, because for me, this card would actually go for so many occasions. It could be a birthday card, a get well card, even a new home card, or I'm just thinking about your card. So I hope you enjoyed that. And have a go at stamping on your gel press with your Versafine Clair inks. Absolutely lovely result. And don't forget your lovely ghost print, which would make the perfect insert. So thank you very much for joining me again. Always lovely to spend time with you. You take care, everybody. Love and hugs from me. Bye for now.